Yeah.
Well,
And there are also, I should note again on that there are tax implications to having a corporation or an LLC or being a sole proprietor. Ask your accountant. And if you don't have an accountant, get an accountant. Yeah,
okay.
I don't give any kind of tax advice because that's not, other than the very top level, these are the differences between them. I'm not a tax advisor. So.
Okay. Well, there you go. So one of our questions was from Dan. So Dan asked a question related to tax. So Dan, there you go. You had to go ask your accountant.
Yeah, sorry about that. And since it was an international question, I would say not only don't ask just a generic accountant, make sure that they either know about the about international tax laws or the laws of that specific country, or that they can look it up or know someone who knows it.
Yeah, and just for the audience who's listening, so they'll know what we're talking about. Dan asked, when dealing with outsourced development, how should I handle taxes? For example, I pay $1,000 to a developer in the EU to create an app, and I'm based in the US. How do I handle this from a tax perspective? So yeah, that's definitely a mixed bag.
Yeah, what I would say, one thing I would say as a general matter is in the contract that you have with them, and yes, you should have a contract. I cannot repeat that often enough. If you are working with someone, hiring them, going into business with them, being hired by them, you must have a contract before you start working. I know this doesn't always happen, but if it hasn't happened, get a contract in place, retcon it, make it happen. It's the number one problem that people run into, and they think it's fine, and until it's not. So in that contract that you definitely have with this person that you're hiring and who's in, whatever, like Romania doing coding for you, you can probably put stuff in the payment section that basically says like, contractor is responsible for doing all their own taxes and following all their local laws, essentially. So that way you're sort of saying, look, I'm just wiring you the money, and you are warranting to me that you're going to follow tax laws and that I'm not responsible for any of that. I would still talk to an accountant and make sure that's the sort of thing that you can disclaim. There may be some specific, there may be some things in the law that don't let you get off the hook for that, no matter what you put in the contract, that are specific to the tax code. So just be careful.